I mean, obviously the reason heather is there essentially is to create a better habitat for grouse. I think we can't argue about that. I think that is what people want. They're when they're doing some of this management, and they're basically creating quite an artificial environment. What relationship should we have with our moorlands? Do you think we need to be as managed, or is there a different way of managing that would protect them in a better way instead?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, the current state of our grouse moor managed peatlands is essentially a sort of factory farming. You just have to look on Google Maps using the satellite imagery to see this huge pattern of burning across vast areas of our upland areas, all to encourage grouse. Grouse are a natural feature of a natural peatland. They evolved on peatlands, in associated with peatlands, long before the Ice Age. So grouse don't actually need peatlands to be burned to be quite happy. And in fact, chicks of grouse need the sort of invertebrates that you find on wet peatland for the first 14 or so days of their lives. So if you don't have those wet environments around, then actually the chicks will struggle early on. So the point really is that at the moment we are creating both an artificially heather-rich community on a habitat that shouldn't be heather-rich. We're simulating heathland conditions basically. On a peatland, which is entirely the wrong thing to do, in order to promote unsustainable quantities of one species, i.e. the grouse. The thing about a peatland, particularly the blanket bogs that we have in our moorlands, is that, and it's a really fortunate thing, they're what we call climax systems. Once they've developed as a peatland system, they will maintain themselves as a peatland system literally for thousands of years. They don't need intervention from us. So actually, the best way of managing them when they're in good condition is allowing them to get on and do their own thing. We don't need to have any real input. The reason we need to make an input is that we are trying to stop these systems doing what they want to do. Every time we operate against the natural process of nature, that involves us putting in energy. It involves us putting in effort to stop it doing what it wants to do. So if we're going to be energy efficient, which of course we're all being encouraged to be, we should actually let them do their own thing. So the other point is that we can demonstrate that this is the case because peatlands store their own record within the peat archive. So if we take a core of peat, we can look back 10,000 years and see what they've been doing for the last 10,000 years. They're the only habitat that we can do this with. If you go to an ancient woodland, it's a lovely ancient woodland, but we have no idea what it was doing 1,000 years ago. With a peatland, we can identify exactly what it was doing. So we can demonstrate that these systems can manage themselves very nicely, thank you. The reason we need to intervene is because we've damaged them already. And so they need, or they benefit from our support in getting back on track. But actually, with most of these, if we walked away and left them 1,000 years, they'd go back to what they do best. For a peatland, 1,000 years it's kind of almost a blink in the eye. But from our point of view, we want to see these systems operating as they should much more quickly than that because it benefits us.